everyone, welcome back. Today we're gonna bake just a simple bread recipe which you can use for sandwiches or just with some butter slathered on it. Let's start with blooming the yeast, which just ensures that your yeast is alive and active. So we're gonna put some yeast in a big bowl and we're gonna feed it sugar and just some warm milk. Dip your finger into the milk and make sure it's not too hot, otherwise it will kill the yeast. And you're gonna let it sit for about 7 to 10 minutes. It's ready to go when you see bubbles on the edges. So just let it sit, give it a good stir, and just let it sit on your counter. See how there's bubbles? So our yeast is good to go. Now we can start mixing all the ingredients together. We're gonna add some melted butter. Make sure none of your ingredients are too hot. It will kill the yeast otherwise. Now I'm gonna add some flour. I've used all-purpose flour, but you can use whole wheat, rye, pumpernickel, whatever you want. And we're gonna use some salt and just give everything a good mix. Use your hands. I'm just using a spatula to incorporate everything, but use your hands. It gets the best end result. Mix till everything incorporates into a nice bowl, and you shouldn't have any dry flour left in your bowl. Now I'm gonna wipe my countertop down and just dust it with some all-purpose flour and start kneading right on your countertop. This yields the best result and a nice soft bread. Keep kneading for about 7 to 8 minutes. And you'll see that the dough gets less and less sticky. It'll become really smooth. Now take the same bowl, pour some olive oil or any flavored oil that you like. This just ensures that the dough doesn't get dry as it rises. Take a clean kitchen towel, cover the bowl completely, and let this rise for another 2 to 3 hours. So after 2 hours, you'll notice that my dough has risen and it smells really, really yummy. I'm just gonna punch the air out of it. Put it back on your countertop and keep kneading. We're gonna form it into a dough, into a loaf shape, and prep it for your pan, for your loaf pan. I would say knead this for about 3 to 5 minutes again. Just get the air back into it. Take your loaf pan and grease it with either butter or oil, just so your dough doesn't stick to it as it bakes. Now we're gonna let this rise in the loaf pan for another hour. It won't get too big, but it'll definitely get a little bit larger than what it is now. Cover it with cling wrap and let it sit for another hour. After an hour, it's definitely gotten a lot bigger. Preheat your oven as this is rising for about 30 minutes to an hour at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. There you go, and you can bake for 35 to 40 minutes and then cool it completely on a wire rack and you're good to go.